Hello friends, today I will be talking about the science behind addiction and the rehabilitation program. Whenever a person takes illegal drugs, tobacco or alcohol, his brain generates a lot of chemical peptides known as dopamine. Now, this causes an immense pleasure. And the trigger for this illegal drugs is much more than the person experiences when he's playing with his kids at home or is going on a park for a walk during a sunny morning. Now, our brain has this tremendous ability to adapt to whatever we do to our bodies. Suppose we are taking illegal drugs for a long period of time, the brain adapts. And so when you're doing physical exercises regularly, the brain adapts to it. It's known as a neuroadaptation. Now, this neuroadaptation of the brain will be working against us if we go on for addiction. Because the brain will take this surge, this flood of dopamine as a perceived threat, even if the addict gets an immense sense of pleasure. So, the brain will try to adapt to this near normal state and will go on shutting off the dopamine receptors. So, the pleasure activity will be dulled. And the person who is taking the drugs will be injecting more poison into his body just to get the previous high. While the brain correspondingly goes on to make the dopamine receptors offline. So, at some point of time, there will be no dopamine receptors and the dopamine can't act. So the person, the addict, is at war with his own brain. After some time, when the person knows, no, he is doing bad and he wants to go off this addiction, he can't do that. Because he will have a tremendous sense of misery, pain and depression. Even doing a normal work like playing with his kids will give him intense amount of misery. And this is known as a withdrawal symptom. But all is not lost. Because there are techniques by which the dopamine receptors, which are totally shut off, will be brought into action slowly through a program. And this program is known as a rehabilitation program. Now, how does a rehabilitation program act in this pathway? It acts as two breakpoints. During a mental upheaval or emotional upheaval state, like you can see a divorce or a breakup, there's an intense surge of this dopamine because of some stress. And to counteract this stress, the person will need an intense instant gratification, and that is the addiction. How will this rehab act? So rehab will be acting on two places. Once, it will try to remove the cause of the mental agony or emotional upheaval by simple meditation technique. So the person will not go or depend on some external stimuli to dull the effects of the pain. 2. This surge of dopamine, intense surge of dopamine by bad pleasure, will be counteracted by small spikes of normal dopamine release through regular physical activity, regular good diet, so that the receptors will be slowly normally activated. The essence of today's discussion is that if you feel that when you meet an addict and you tell him, boss, stop your addiction today, like quit smoking today or stop your alcohol today, you're not doing any good to the person. Because as you know from this biochemistry involved, this is not a possible request. So rather than shaming the person, give him adequate time for this rehabilitation process so he can come back to the normal mainstream. I hope I got the point across. So, ultimately, we have to stay fit, stay healthy, and overcome all our obstacles. Goodbye. Thank you.